All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Mastering advanced English grammar, it is absolutely not just about passing some language test. It's really about controlling the narrative in high-stakes executive meetings. Today, we're looking at that crucial leap from a solid intermediate level to a commanding B2 level. Because, frankly, it's the difference between simply reporting the dry facts and strategically diagnosing a complex situation. Picture this. You're in the hot seat. The board of directors is just staring at you, waiting for an explanation for a multi-million-euro delay. How you answer right here, in this exact moment, completely determines if you sound like an amateur scrambling for excuses or a strategic leader who's diagnosing a complex issue. The words you choose, and more specifically, the flow of your tenses, will literally dictate the entire room's confidence in your leadership. Section 1. The Bratislava Boardroom. To see how this actually plays out, let's jump into a real-world scenario. We aren't just talking about abstract grammar rules today. We're talking about real-world business applications in Central Europe. Imagine you're a senior manager at Adient's massive business center over in Bratislava. Now, this place was established back in 2007, originally under Johnson Controls, and spun off into its own specialized entity in 2016. Thanks to its killer geographic location, it's a totally critical hub. And what's wild here is the sheer scale of the operation. We're talking 800 professionals. You're not just doing local admin, you're providing global financial, HR, and IT services to 33 different countries across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa. Bratislava operates as a center of excellence, which basically means the work done here isn't replicated anywhere else on the planet. So when you're reporting back to the U.S. parent company on behalf of an operation this vital, your English communication literally has to be flawlessly sophisticated. Moving right along to Section 2, the flat timeline trap. So when professionals get nervous in these high-pressure reporting scenarios, their storytelling often just collapses into what we call the flat timeline. Look at the left side here. The project started, the server crashed, we lost data, we delayed the launch. Yeah, this is your classic lower-level report using only the past simple. It's super robotic, kinda unconvincing, and honestly, it completely fails to explain the root causes of the delay or the massive effort your team actually put in beforehand. And hey, this isn't just some anecdotal observation. Linguistic research analyzing university learners in the Czech and Slovak regions highlights this exact error. They noticed a heavy tendency to mistakenly rely on basic past tenses for events that really need sequencing. We naturally default to this flat, linear sequence, but in doing so, we completely miss out on the depth that comes from correlating those past events. Which brings us to Section 3, the Narrative Tense Toolkit. To step up your game, we've got to upgrade your toolkit. We need to master the 4 advanced narrative tenses, which is basically the holy grail of B2 level executive communication. Looking at this timeline, you can see how each tense has a very specific job. The past simple, that's your backbone, your main events. The past continuous provides the backdrop, what was happening around those main events. And then the past perfect steps in to establish priority, showing what happened first, way before the crisis even hit. So the key takeaway here is that the past perfect, that's your had plus a past participle, is your absolute best friend for explaining exactly what your team achieved before a disaster struck. It basically says, hey, we didn't just sit on our hands. By the time the problem started, we had already completed phase 1. It proves you were prepared. But listen, your ultimate corporate superpower, that's the past perfect continuous. This tense, the had been doing, flawlessly explains the root cause and the exact duration of the pain point before the delay actually happened. It tells the board, in no uncertain terms, that an action was ongoing, building up pressure right until the breaking point. Let's put it all together in Section 4, Connecting the Story. Okay, time to take these tools out of the textbook and bring them straight into the Adient boardroom. Here are the raw facts for a major IT delay you've got to present. System migration initiated in 2023. Developers worked heavily for 6 straight months. The legacy server continuously failed in April. Launch officially delayed to Q3. Your job? Present this to the Bratislava board without sounding like you're just rattling off a list of excuses. Just look at the stark contrast here. On the left, we've got that flat, panicky past simple. But on the right, by layering our tenses, we get, when the server crashed, we had been working on the migration for 6 months. Boom. The right side immediately shows depth, it shows duration, and it shows immense strategic awareness. It actively defends your team's hard work. And this right here brilliantly illustrates the final upgrade,
a beautifully woven sentence fluidly using all four tenses to diagnose a complex issue with absolute authority. Check it out. By the time the system failed, there's your past simple trigger, the team had been developing the patch, past perfect continuous for duration. Because the legacy server was continuously crashing, past continuous backtop, we delayed the launch, the final past simple result. It's clear, it's highly professional, and it commands instant respect.
Section 5, Corporate Narrative Challenge.
All right, to make sure you've really locked this in, let's flip the script. Instead of a failure, let's talk about a massive success. Mentally review these 4 out-of-order events from a killer marketing campaign. Step 1 is the result, gaining 5,000 users. Step 2 is the trigger, launching the campaign. Step 3 is the duration, marketing running ads for a month. And Step 4 is the backdrop, competitors losing ground. Take a second, try to piece these together right now using the narrative tenses we just broke down. Think about what happened first, what was ongoing, and what triggered the final amazing results. Got it? Well, here is the elegant solution. When we launched the campaign, competitors were already losing ground because marketing had been running targeted ads for a month. See how that works? It beautifully utilizes the past perfect continuous to pinpoint the exact root cause of the campaign's massive success. You're proving to the board that this wasn't just some lucky accident. It was the direct result of a sustained, ongoing effort that started way before the launch.
So take these tools into your next high-stakes boardroom presentation. Whether you're sitting in Bratislava or literally anywhere else in the corporate world, remember that sophisticated grammar is actually the ultimate key to professional persuasion. It lets you shape the context, fiercely defend your team's timeline, and position yourself as a true strategic leader. So the next time you're up there, will you just report the flat facts, or will you command the room by controlling the narrative?